Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we simulated the season, and once again, we kind of stayed right around where we were, but our team was better offensively this season than they were last year, which is good, but our goals against was still the worst in the league, so we definitely need to address our defense going forward, and hopefully that some of these guys that were in the AHL last year can make the jump up, like, for example, Yip, who we drafted only a couple episodes ago, should already be in our lineup next season, which is pretty nice, and hopefully he gets some good enough development to help out our defensive core quite a bit. Now, before we get into the draft and the entire offseason, we do have a few comments to go over. So the first couple are from Jeff Brzezinski. He says draft Taylor or Burns, and then he decides to change his mind after that and to just draft Burns because we have Yip and a few other solid young defensemen coming up and could potentially get that low elite in that second round for future D-man too. So basically he's saying to go with the center in Burns, who it looks like he's going to be a two-way forward. There's no guarantee on that, but he's saying to take him, which would be a good thing to do because obviously we do need more guys that could take face-offs, because right now I believe Sea-Doo is taking face-offs and he's not doing as good as a centerman as he should. So we will be drafting Burns more likely to play in terms of that, and then also he could help us out on the penalty kill if he is in fact a two-way forward and that type of thing, which should help us actually in both ends of the ice. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone, one on offense and one on defense to an extent, but it's just with one player instead of having to grab two players, you know. The next comment is from Alien Pete. He says, I would draft Burns. He looks like a two-way forward, and I'm not sure Sea-Doo should be playing center. Doesn't seem to be producing well there. Burns would fit the second line and could kill penalties, which is pretty much what I was just mentioning. Because if we take a look at Sea-Doo, for example, his contract is actually up this offseason, but he's not going to ask for too much, I don't think. But as you can see, he's up to an 87 overall. But if we look at his player stats so far, he had 47 points his first year, which is not terrible. Then he jumped up to 59, so it looked like he was going to get a little bit better. But then this last season in general, he was just not great enough. And if we look at his face-off stats, they're above 50%, but still not that great. Like, if we bring in a guy that could actually play center, then maybe that will help us out a little bit. Like, his face-offs are an 80 overall, and him being a power forward, we probably want to use him on the wing instead, because that way he could crash around the boards and stuff like that and help us out, and maybe get the puck to the middle of the ice for some goals and stuff like that. So yeah, Sea-Doo is more than likely going to be used as a winger like he actually should be, and we could draft this Burns guy as a center to play alongside him. The next comment is from HawksFan88. He says, Taylor is definitely the right choice. Hopefully the team is able to make a playoff run soon. And I mentioned what Jeff said to him about taking a defenseman instead, and he definitely agrees with that. So he definitely says to take Burns instead, because Taylor is also pretty good, but we don't really know any information about him. But we already have, like I was just mentioning, a lot of defensemen in the minors. If we look at in the system, Yip, for example, will definitely jump into our lineup this upcoming season, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Yip is up to a 76 at 19, and then Roach is also like a 76, so we're getting some good defensive development, so we really don't need him. And if we get another elite, we could throw them with like Shoots, who's jumping up a lot. So I think we're doing fine so far on the defensive front for now. And then the final comment is from Jake Barabo. He says, even though I agree with Jeff here, I would go with the center. The D-core is going to grow and definitely need to build up that bottom six. Later round, I would go with any big players that are potentially elite to help out with the bottom six. So he's saying in later rounds to try and find some power forwards, those type of players like he was mentioning last offseason, I'm pretty sure it was. To try and just make that bottom six a little bit more physical and maybe get that puck to that center of the ice, like I was just mentioning, to generate some offensive chances. So we definitely will look for power forwards after round 2, because I think round 2 will definitely take Roman Melikar. That way we have a little elite defenseman in our system as well. So those were the comments I had in the last episode. So let's get into this draft and see what we can get. I don't know if I could offer contract extensions already. Can I do that? Because I was already going to maybe debate about giving Sea-Doo his contract already. No, I can't already. Because I shouldn't really sign him too long term. I might end up just signing him for 5 years. Or I'll wait for now until we actually get to the re-sign stage, because I don't think he's going to demand too much. If he does, we can qualify him and his asking price will probably drop. But anyways, let's get into this draft and see what we can get up here for our team. Sorry if my voice sounds a little husky. I literally just woke up, so We have the 4th overall pick, which is good. And in that second round, we have the 2nd pick, so we should be able to get that low elite defenseman that I was mentioning. So anyways, let's see what Vegas takes at number 1. They are going to take Gortz, who's an 80 overall playmaker. Not too bad. And then San Jose at number 2 is going to take Yakupov, who's a two-way forward, 78 overall. Interesting. Taking a Yakupov at number 2 doesn't sound like a wise idea, considering the Yakupov that went first overall wasn't. And then the Islanders are going to take a 77 overall defensive defenseman in Parent. Interesting. So with our pick, we are going to definitely take Burns, even though Taylor could be a good defenseman. We're going to take Burns just to help us out in terms of both offense and defense if this guy is in fact a two-way forward. He might not actually have a zone ability, but he probably does. Yeah, he has a couple, superstar abilities, which is good. And both of them, or most of them, are passing and defensive related. It doesn't look like he takes a lot of penalties too. So we're going to take Chad Burns, and hopefully he's a good two-way forward, and he is in fact one. He's a 79 overall, so he is literally the second best player in the draft again. So I don't know why the AI is like not drafting that well, but he does have his own ability as well, and that's elite edges. So he's a good skater, good passer. He's good at shutdown defending, which is great because that's what we definitely need on offense. And then he's also got a great defensive stick, which I really like that too. His defensive awareness is just as good as his offensive. His face-off stats are currently worse than Sea-Doo's, but we will probably play him there since he's a definite center. He's got decent shot blocking, stick checking. All around, this guy looks pretty solid. Like, he doesn't really have any weakness. Like, pretty much everything's in the 80 range. So, definitely a good pickup with Chad Burns. Hopefully, he could help us out in keeping the puck out in this upcoming season, because that would be really nice. Let's do our next pick at pick 35 and see if we can get that low elite defenseman, which we should be able to. Maybe not. Did he end up going late first round? Oh, man. You gotta be joking me. The AI actually made a smart move and took a low lead in the last part of the draft in the first round. Yep. Carolina somehow took Melakar in the first round. He wasn't projected till the second round, but we just missed out on a guy with some good X factors and a guy that could throw a lot of hits apparently, which really sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can find a defenseman here though in the second round, but that really sucks because I really wanted to get that guy. But it is what it is. We could take another forward. This guy might be another two-way. We should probably look for power forwards now since that's what we were mentioning before. We don't really know anybody's player type, which is the thing, so we might have to go off like height and weight. But I think I'll probably end up taking that guy that's near the top of the list first because I really don't know much about a lot of these guys because I didn't assign scouts to the right leagues, which I'll have to do that as well in this episode as long as I remember. Finisenkov we'll take him, I think. Give us some more winger prospects. Hopefully fill out that bottom 6, and he's a top 9, 61 overall sniper, so that's not too bad. Hopefully he gets some good development, because if we could get our bottom 6 filled out, then we might be golden, as well as our defensive core, obviously. Our next pick, this guy might be low elite. There's no guarantees on that, though. Is there any power forwards in this round? There might be this guy in the long guy. No, this guy's definitely not a power forward based on his size. 5'11", 180. I think he's more of a playmaker or something like that. Let's see any big guys that are forwards. This guy's a two-way forward, but he's 6'4". Jeez. This guy's 6'4", 204. So this guy's probably a power forward, if I'm gonna guess. So I'm gonna take him, Kim Benkinson. We'll take him because he might be power forward and he's a two-way forward. Damn it. Low top 661 though is pretty good, but this guy has a lot of size to him, so maybe he could help us out still in getting that puck to the middle of the ice and getting some offensive chances. So I guess I'll take that. Our next pick in the 4th round already. There's Gainey. Don't really know anything about that guy that much though. This draft doesn't really look like it has a lot of power forwards, which is kind of unfortunate. This guy's another big guy. This guy might be a power forward, but I don't know if he's going to be good. Rodney Rodriguez. You know what? We'll definitely just take him. because we need guys with size, and he's a power forward, 58 overall, low top 9. So I don't know if he's going to pan out, but we do have a power forward now that's going to be in our AHL system, which is good. We go into the 5th round here, and there is a medium elite goalie that I pinned, so I think we might as well just take him just in case none of our other goalies pan out. We could just leave this guy unsigned for a few years because definitely he wouldn't get chances to play in the AHL, but it gives us an elite goalie to hopefully marinate into a starter at some point. So welcome aboard, Benson. 49 overall, so yeah, he's not going to get signed right away. But hopefully he ends up getting some good development over there. And where is he playing? In the United States. So technically he is AHL eligible, but I don't want to rush him into the system yet, because he probably would be a scratch with the amount of goalies we have at the moment. So 6th round here, we could go with that overager, but I don't know if he's that good, to be honest. 4-year ETA is not terrible, but he's probably like not a top 9 or something, maybe even less than that. Skinner, we don't know anything about. Yeah, this draft class doesn't look that good, to be honest. Wow, that guy's 6'5", 221 as a defenseman. We haven't really drafted a lot of defensemen in this draft, so maybe we'll pick up another. A lot of them have 5-year ETAs. What about this Corbin dude? We don't know anything about. Damn, 6'5", 238. That guy's 19 already. This guy's a big guy. You know what? We're going to just draft Omar Ramsey because he's huge. Because maybe he could just be one of those guys that like are physical in defense. He's a 7th D, so we might use him as a depth option at some point. But definitely a really big defenseman. I don't think I've ever seen an EA-generated guy that big. So 7th round in our final pick of the draft. Can we find a nice steal for our team? There's potentially a low elite defenseman. I don't really think he is one, but there is a chance. There's a low top 6, but he's not supposed to go to 340 something, so that's unreliable, I think. Yeah, I think that's unreliable, because once you get into the 300s, you can't really trust it. So I can't even trust that guy that might be a low elite. So I could probably trust this Kabanov dude to an extent, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's just scroll through these guys' individual ratings. Glenn Ladd looks okay. 5-year ETA at 18. Might have X factors. You know what? We're going to take Glenn Ladd. I don't know anything about this guy, but we'll take him anyways. He's a low top 4, 57 overall offensive defenseman. It's not too bad. Don't know if he'll pan out, but he has some good offensive awareness and stuff like that. So maybe this guy becomes something at the AHL level, but it's kind of an interesting pick there. And that is our draft. So we got at least one of our players that we wanted to get in that first round, but then in that 2nd round it fell apart because the AI decided to take that low elite early, which really sucks, but it is what it is. But we still got Burns, Afinosenkov, Bengtson, Bengtinson, I don't know how to pronounce it really, Rodriguez, Benson, Ramsey, and Ladd. So there's our picks in this year's draft. And now let's get into the re-sign stage. Well, we should probably offer some contracts before the re-sign stage, because I was told that was still a way I could get an 85% off kind of thing. So, Sea-Doo, what does he want? I am going to try the 85% trick again on Sam Sea-Doo, because I do want Sam Sea-Doo locked up maybe for 5 years, because I don't think I want to give him like an 8-year deal yet, because he might be one of these players that don't really develop that well, you know. So he wants 7.375. That's a decent amount considering he hasn't really put up a lot of points. So we're going to times that by 0.85, and we're going to offer him 6.27. So we can't drop the asking price by too much. Actually, I should put it to like 5 years instead. And doing that by 85%, just because I want to get him locked up for a decent amount of term and not just a 1-year deal for now. So we'll do that times 0.85, which is 9. That's a lot of money though. I'll try and get him for like 9.135 or something like that. That actually might be a little bit of an overpayment. You know what? I think for now we're just gonna give him a 1-year deal, and then next year we could give him more money. But right now I don't really trust him. You know, he hasn't really earned a multi-year deal at this point, even though he's 21. So we'll offer him that contract, and then we'll get to the rest to the re-sign stage. Yeah, hopefully we can just get him for cheap for 1 year. And he is going to accept that money. So We get him for 1 year at $6 million. It's a little bit of an overpayment to an extent because he's not averaged that much points, but we do have him for 1 more year for now at least. Other expiring players, we do have a lot of other players to re-sign. We probably will have to let some guys go for the AHL. Yeah, we probably will have to let some guys go for the AHL, unfortunately, just to make room for guys that we just drafted. So let's let go of the guys that were just cap whales for now. There we go. And we'll also let go of a couple other players probably in this. We probably will let go of Sim, which really sucks because he was one of our first picks, but he hasn't developed, and that will free up some roster spots. But let's sign some of our unsigned guys. So I guess we'll sign everybody that's 60 and above for now, because like some of these guys we might have to wait on for now. So yeah, we're definitely going to sign Burns. We'll sign Afinasenkov, and he could play in the AHL, and same with Bengtsson. And these other 3 we'll wait on. And then the goalie prospect wise, we could sign Park, but I'm not going to sign Park yet. And let's go back to all expiring. So we'll start off with Pete Pasquale. He's going to be more than likely our 4th line center this year, maybe a 3rd liner. Yeah, I'm fine with giving him a 2-year deal. And then we'll try and talk him down to like 1.5. And then Reed Roach, he wants a decent amount as well. I might have to qualify some of these dudes. Let me just go to the bottom of this list first. So I think I might let go of Whitaker. And Ryder. Yeah, I think I'm going to let go. Actually, maybe not Whitaker. I will let go of Ryder, though, because he's a 65 at 24, I think. I don't know. I'm definitely going to let go of Sim, though, because Sim... Did I let go of Sim already? Because I don't see him. Oh, no, there he is. He's the only UFA on this, but yeah, he's definitely going to let go of... So yeah, we're definitely going to let go of Sim. Let him go to free agency, and... Yeah, I think we got to let go of some of these other guys in the AHL, to be honest. So I'm going to let go of Orlando Ryder. And everybody else, I think, is going to get qualified down there in the minors. Reed Roach is going to be an NHL defenseman this year. So I think I will give him a 2-year deal and drop it down to like 1.25 if I can. And I think everybody else is just going to get qualified for now. None of them should get qualifying offers, but from other teams. But we'll just give them some qualifying offers, and hopefully they drop their asking price a little bit. Especially the ones that would be in the AHL and still making like $1 million. But I don't think we're going to need to sign any free agents this offseason for cap whales or what. But there we go. Goalie-wise, we do have these goalies. Yeah, I'll give Janssen a one-way deal. I don't care about that much. Joseph wants also a one-way deal, and Khan wants a one-way deal. Khan's a UFA. That's an interesting one. Because if we let go of Khan, then we have Cam Beats and Park that could play in the AHL. Or yeah, Joseph, Cam Beats, and Park. So I don't need to sign Park yet. But I think I'm going to let go of Khan. He's a 75 at 25. He's not really panning out much more than that. So I'm going to let him go. If he ever goes to free agency, I think I will give us the opportunity to sign him since we did draft him technically. But I'm not 100% sure with that. So we'll let him walk. And we'll go back to our phase. The rest of these guys are all qualified. That's good. And then we'll also, I guess, qualify... Joseph would be one of our NHL goalies, so I could give him this. So I will just give him a 2-year deal at 1.1. It's relatively cheap anyways. And let's advance the date and see if we could get all these guys. Okay, so... Roach is still not accepted, apparently. So we'll just give him what he's asking for now. And we are good on the UFA for obviously. So we're just waiting on Roach, and then the rest of these guys will get qualified. And hopefully they aren't too expensive when they do sign. There we go. That's good. So we're at 33 to 50 contract spaces. Let me actually check the goalies. Yeah, goalies are good too. Okay, let me take a look. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players there, which means we are technically at 46 out of 50 contracts, which means we have 4 spaces available, which means I probably will still sign 2 more guys to cap whale contracts. That way we don't run into cap situation problems, because we do still have 30 million in cap space. So yeah, we'll sign still 2 AHL extra forwards, but let's sim to free agency and see if we get those guys. Looks like a lot of them are accepting, which is a good thing. But who is still holding out for a contract? Because there's more than likely a couple players, because there is every single season. So let's see. Aegon is still wanting a one-way deal. Yeah, these guys shouldn't get qualified. Seaback might be in the NHL team this season. Honestly, Mikonov is one of these guys I might let go of at some point. Same with Holloway and whatnot. But these might be their last years here in Houston. But yeah, hopefully Seaback accepts this thing soon, because Seaback might be a bottom 6 player for us this year. Okay, so those guys are holding out currently, and we need to just sign 2 guys to some cap whale contracts. We'll sign them for like 1 year at like 7 million or 6 million each, maybe something like that. And then we'll sim up to the start of next season, and hopefully our RFAs decide to accept. So we'll go to UFA, and we'll sort this by potential. We'll sign this guy back up for a 1 year deal, and we'll give him, yeah, like $6 million to sit on the bench or play in the AHL, one of the two. Probably sit on the bench in the AHL. Imagine getting paid $6 million just to do that. So we'll give him a 1 year deal at $6 million, and then the other deal we'll give like $4 million too. And then we should be cap compliant, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, we'll give this guy $6 million as well, because why not? But I think we'll be cap compliant once we sign these 2 guys, because we do have like 24 million in cap space. So with these 2 guys signed, we'll be at like 12 million in cap space, and all of our guys that are RFAs won't want too much money, so should be fine. So we'll sign those guys up for 6 million, and that is good. So let's start simming up to next season and seeing if those RFAs accept. Obviously those UFA guys are going to accept for sure. Just waiting on those RFAs. There's Aegon who accepts. That's good. Same with Whitaker. Same with McIver, Mikonov, Holloway, and Seaback. I think that's all of them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just make sure. We have 14 million in cap space, and yep, that is everybody back. Perfect. So our NHL team is set and ready to go. Pretty much, we just need to edit the lines at the start of the season, which hopefully our lines look pretty good, and hopefully they look a bit stronger than last year with the addition of Burns in our lineup and whatnot. Because I think Burns is definitely going to give us a little bit of a better edge in terms of defensive play on our offensive core. And then we could run like Pasquale's like a 4th liner, which would be pretty decent. Okay, so let's go to edit lines here and set up our lines the way we want it. So who's currently scratched up here? Turzenbaev needs to be in the lineup at that overall. I would rather scratch Zubov if I was being honest, because Zubov isn't really panning out much more than the 76. So we'll throw Turzenbaev in for now. Okay, this is looking interesting right now, our lineup. I would rather have the top line being like that, and then going like that. Yeah, so literally our top 9 actually looks legitimate. Obviously the center depth isn't that great, but it's still pretty solid. Who do we got also scratched? Malhotra could be scratched, that's fine. Aegon and Zubov. But I would rather have them in the minors if I can. But I might have to keep them up here, because or else they might not be able to play. Is there anybody that doesn't have potential that's in the lineup? Oh, there's Makinen. So I think I will have to send down at least one of those depth options, which means I probably will send down Zubov, because of the fact he's an actual centerman and he could help out that AHL team a lot probably. I think I'm just going to send down all 3 of them that are scratched for now. That way our AHL team could be as best as it could possibly be. So let's just go best lines down there. And who's scratched now? We don't want really Heino to be scratched, but he is a bottom 6 forward, so it's not the end of the world. Venisenkov should be dressed. over somebody else like Larocque, for example, who's not really panning out. So I'll throw in a Finissinkov. And anybody else? Heino should be maybe in. Roach should definitely be playing defense. So Ty Dubnyk is now in the AHL this year. Interesting. What can we do? Seems like if Finissinkov doesn't really fit our defensive core, and Sepper on the top 6 pair, and I'll definitely take that. I think I'm going to also take out, who's an old defenseman, Mikonov. Smolinski's got top 4 potential, so we're going to throw Smolinski in. And then Dubnyk, I think I'll take out for Roach. There you go. And that should be pretty much good for the AHL. Let me just make sure the NHL defensive core is good. I feel like I should call up Dubnyk and send down Christopoulos. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just based on potential-wise and see if that helps out our defensive core. So we'll send down Christopoulos and we will call up... We could even call up a Finissinkov, honestly. Either that or Dubnyk or Ozolinsh. Who's the best defensively minded defender out of those guys? It's probably Dubnyk, so we'll try and call up Dubnyk and see if he's a better chemistry than Christopoulos is. If not, we might have to run with Christopoulos as that top 6 defenseman to play with Yip. And -3. Ooh. That works, though, if we get rid of Tertukin off that top pairing. But I don't really want to do that. So I think we got to send Dubnyk back down and play Christopoulos, which is unfortunate because Christopoulos doesn't have much potential. But we got to do it for the sake of the chemistry for now. So we'll do that. And that should be good. And then we'll throw Christopoulos back in onto that top 6 pairing. But our defensive core actually looks not that bad this year. It looks better than previous years for sure. Oh, now it's saying -3 there, but it's probably not -3. Like, I bet you if I quit the screen, it'll go back to normal. Soderstrom's up to an 80 overall, so he's actually a legitimate backup goaltender this season. So our goaltending is getting stronger. And yeah, our team is looking a lot better than previous years, I think. I like it. Special teams are looking good chemistry-wise. Penalty kills looking really good chemistry-wise. This might be a good year ahead because obviously with the addition of Yip on our defensive core, that's going to help us out a little bit, I think. But yeah, let's quit this and quickly check if that chemistry thing goes away because I think that might be a bug. Yeah, it's a bug. Perfect. Yeah, we'll just run with this. So, Tertukin, Hedman, Yip, Turris, Christopoulos, and Roach. And in our forward core is Morales, Jaskeline, and Thornton, Kapitanov, Burns, Sidu, Forster, Pasquale, Korostin, and a 4th line of Goldobin, Tursenbaev, and Lannon. So our 4th line is pretty much our weakest point, and in our defensive core is also weak a little bit right here. But other than that, we actually have almost a legitimate NHL lineup this upcoming season, so that's good. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Let me just take a look at whose contracts are up this offseason out of curiosity. So Sidu's going to need another new contract. I don't want to go trade for Acid, goddammit. But yeah, his contract is up this offseason. Hedman's going to need a big contract because he's a defender. Oh, that's not a bad asking price. I might give him an extension in next episode already because 6 years at $6 million for an elite defenseman is pretty good. But yeah, we do have a couple more UFAs this coming off season, but otherwise our team is looking pretty good, and there's a good chance that we could be getting closer to being a playoff team soon. So that is that, and let's take a quick look at just what the draft class has this year, if they have more defensemen or more forwards. It is a little bit of a mix, okay. So there's some forwards and some defenders in the top 5. Hopefully we don't have a top 5 pick this year. Hopefully we fall a little bit and we could get like a top 6 forward or something instead to round out our bottom 6 or something like that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory. So in next episode, we will simulate the season again as we look to be a better team than last year, and hopefully we get closer to being a playoff team. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.